Hey everybody, welcome back. We are Buddies, Spirits, and Cigars. Today we are finally getting to try Act 10 from a Midwinter Nice Dram. This is by High West Distillery. Pretty excited to try it. This is a bottle that Dawson has brought for us to do. And
what a good kid.
Obviously he's been into it.
I mean, I was just going to taste it.
Maybe a little.
I was just like, I want to taste it. It was Christmas night. Cracked it with the fam, and I was like,
Midwinter night.
It was a midwinter night, and it was cold. Like the
There
back
you
of
go.
the label says, like, drink this shit when it's cold, and that's what we were doing.
But here's the deal. A taste is not half the bottle.
Well, it
Now, for some people, it might be.
If you're not a quitter, it is.
Right.
it progressed very rapidly.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring these up. And I want you to kind of tell everybody your initial thoughts on this and the conversation that you and I had.
Last night. Was it last night?
No. When you crack this, you're like, hey, man.
Right. But then we talked again last night.
Yeah. I don't remember last night's conversation that well. But when you crack this, tell them kind of like, what your thoughts were, how you felt about it, and you were, how you.
So it was a midwinter night.
Oh God.
And me
Dark and stormy.
Me and the old future father-in-law cracked it open, and I got to be honest, I kind of went into this kind of with a piss poor attitude, just because how hard it is to find and how much it cost. I think I paid $160 for it, which MSRP is like $155, $160, somewhere right in there. So I paid MSRP for it, but it was just pricey. And typically I'm a high proof guy. And I had it, and I was like, well, it's not bad. Not worth $160. And then...
What is the proof on that?
It should be like 98, right?
Yes. 98.6. Kind of crazy.
And this is scene 4 for anybody
Act
wondering.
10, scene 4.
Yeah. And then, I was like, oh, well, I'll get another one. So I drank some more. And then got another one because why not? And then progressively, I was like, I'm going to save this for special occasions. And then I found myself drinking it on Tuesday and Thursday night for no apparent reason at all. And then...
Still being winter.
Yeah. Last night, I had maybe a few pours as well. And I finally came to the realization, like, well, maybe I like this a lot more than I thought. And so I called, Chris here and said, for not liking it, I've drank over half the bottle. What do you think about that? Yeah. He said, it sounds like you like it.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, he had a different brand of spirit from a different company. Totally blows this out of the water as far as proof, everything. So this was the second drink of the night for you. Fresh cracked. He texted me. He's like, dude, I don't think I'm a fan of the Midwinter Nice Dram. And I was like, don't tell me that, man. Because, we have heard from, other people that's had this and done on their channels and stuff that it has a very heavy port taste and everything. And Bruce and I are pretty big fans of the Basil Hayden Dark Rye, which is a port finished rye. So
it's a very delicious port finished rye.
Yeah. So Bruce and I were like, man, Act 10 sounds like it's right in our wheelhouse. So we were pretty excited about the whole gig, and he and I actually acquired a bottle, and Dawson got one, and so Dawson cracked his first and was like, all right, sweet, so usually rare bottles that we don't get, whoever cracks theirs first, usually they'll bring it on the show first, which is fine. Kind of all take turns on that aspect. But when Dawson kind of sent me that message, I was like, dude, don't tell me this, and I was like, all right, I got to ask my question to you first. How did you like Basil Hayden Dark Rye? And what was your reply?
I hadn't had it.
And I was like, that doesn't help me any.
Well, and in my defense, I haven't had that one, and I need to try it. But I've had, 3 or 4 of the other Basil Haydens, and just honestly haven't been a fan of any of them.
This is a different,
so we can't trust
experience.
his palate if he doesn't like that anymore.
Right, but the dark rye is a whole different experience though out of the Basil
It is.
Hayden lineup. So it doesn't even compare to
most people that I've shared that with have liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that was their top 5 or anything of all time, but most everybody is like it.
Yeah. I mean, even Mr. Executive, Mr. Producer likes it.
Yeah.
And so, I'm like, please don't tell me that and I was thinking in my head when I asked him about the dark rye, I was like, please do not tell me you don't like that. Because if you say you don't like that, then it kind of makes sense why you probably aren't a big fan of the Midwinter Nice Dram. Fast forward in time, last night he's texting me. He's like, so about the Midwinter Nice Dram.
Hey, you've changed my mind.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
We're not allowed to drink.
So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. Got a great nose.
It does smell really good.
Smells almost as beautiful as you look, Chris.
You can't fit that in a glass. You can't fit that in a glass.
That tall fucking glass.
It's got nice legs.
You get that real sweetness, that real fruitiness of it. The nose, I'm a fan off the nose, right off the nose.
Oh yeah, that's a solid pour. Now I see why the bottles have it.
Yeah. Let's just finish the other half.
How about no?
But a good book says to shoot.
Hey, you know what? I'll cut you boys a deal. Y'all finally make it up to my new house and smoke a cigar with me, and we'll finish it. We'll bottle kill that. How about
Finally
that?
make it up there. He acts like he's had this house for a year.
I've been in there
literally
a month.
just
Basically the
closed on it
same.
a month
Basically
ago.
the same thing.
You've been in there a week,
Hey,
man. What are you talking about?
Jeremy's been to it like 3 times. I'm
And
just
he
saying.
also lives there.
And
no,
Jeremy lives
no, he
there.
doesn't. He lives an hour away.
Well, Jeremy's an overachiever.
Jeremy's a good guy, I guess. I mean, what do you want me to say?
I'm just saying you guys could do a little better. That's all I'm saying. Granted, actually, you picked me up some bourbon the other day, and Bruce saved me some cigars. So I guess y'all are still pretty fucking cool. But
You're welcome.
just saying.
Junior bourbon.
I'm a fan of this. I like it. I think now, how does this compare to other acts and stuff? I don't know.
No idea.
This is the first time I've been able to get my hands on a Midwinter Nice Dram. So for me, this being the first one, it's great. I like it.
The Act 6 Scene 5 that I've got, I haven't had it since I got it, which is about 4 years because I haven't done things. But it's pretty comparable quality wise.
That obviously not having near the port finish taste.
No.
as this one.
It's not like
And I will
it's
say
still a solid pour.
something too that doesn't really have anything to relation to the nose or taste because it's just damn good as far as that goes. But look at that bottle. I don't care what anybody says. That is a beautiful bottle.
High West does a great job with their glass, making it look like it's got those air bubbles and stuff in it. I think that's
Yes.
pretty cool. All their glasses.
Well, it makes it
All their
look,
bottles
it's kind of
have that.
antique.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one hell of a display.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool gig. I like it. Well,
I just wish they would put more of it out and it wouldn't be so goddamn hard.
I'll start. You ready?
let's do it.
All right, here we go. Obviously, my love for this juice has evolved over the last week. Like they said, it's very strong on the port. I still get a little bit of rye on the back of the palate. Once that kind of burns off. This for me hits you. You get some flavor. You get the port. I get the rye, and then it's gone, and it just leaves you wanting more. In my experience. I wish it hung around a little longer just because it sucks because for me it disappears pretty quickly. And even on the back it says, it disappears quickly and it leaves you wanting more on their little story on the back. But what really killed it for me is just price. I mean, I don't know what it costs them to port finish this and do all that fancy stuff and the awesome bottle and the marketing and everything. But it's not a $160 pour.
$160 pour.
Well, bottle.
Okay.
I'd buy this all day long for 80 to 100 bucks, 160. And then not only to mention that it's 160, but it's damn near impossible to find. You know, that just kills it. So it's better than middle of the road as far as juice. You know, the juice for me is like a 3.5. Yeah, probably 3 1/4, really. But just everything else just drags it back. So I'm going to give it a 2.75.
Wow.
Yeah.
For me,
and I love it. I'm not saying I don't. It's just the price and the availability just kill it for me.
For me, this being the first one I've had, it leaves me with a great impression of Midwinter Nice Dram. High West makes some pretty good stuff. I like their double rye quite a bit.
That's phenomenal.
So, as far as ryes go, I think they've got a good thing going. And then with this, adding that port finish on there, just kind of puts a little icing on the cake. It doesn't completely ice the cake, but it puts some icing on the cake for me. The price sucks. I mean, it does. I got mine for $150 or so. That part sucks. Availability really sucks. But, you know, it's one of those deals. If you can get your hands on it, it's awesome. Consider yourself lucky and blessed to be able to get something like that, or maybe a friend does, and hopefully they share. And that's what we do here, and that's what we always want to encourage. If you know, this stuff's meant to be shared, not just to completely hoard it all to yourself.
So I kind of lied earlier. I gave 2 samples away, so I didn't drink all that myself. I gave them.
Well, good. So that being said, with this, I'm going to go. I think what knocks points off for me is availability and price. So, but I still think this is excellent juice. So 3 1/4 for me.
Well, I agree with both of you on availability. I was fortunate enough to locate a bottle a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Shit, it's been long.
It's been a little bit, yeah.
The last bottle I saw for sale in the shop was about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So
that's when you got yours.
Yeah, availability is definitely a big knock. You just don't see it. And I paid $170 a bottle. So both of those things really kind of knock it back. I'm going to give it a good 3. I love the flavor. It's very good. It's smooth. It's pairing fairly well with the cigar that we have today. Not fantastic, but it's okay. It doesn't overpower it by any stretch. But like I said, I would be a player. I agree with you. $80 to $100 all day long, twice on Sunday. 170 is a little bit much for what we're getting.
And honestly, for me, completely transparent. If I find a bottle of this on the shelf tomorrow for $160, I'm going to buy it. Even though I knocked it, the juice is good. It's just I can't find it. I mean, for one of these, I can go buy 3 liquid store picks, and that juice is phenomenal.
True story.
Yeah, it's hard to argue, and you can compare it with other stuff all day long, and you know, I could do this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. End of the day, MSRP, if it's in that ballpark, I'm game for this bottle. Secondary market, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting on that soapbox, but I'm just not doing it.
You surely not.
So you know, with this.
Surprise!
I agree with you guys.
Surprise!
Throw it at
resolution.
Throw it at $100. You know, maybe 110, and you got customers all day, and somehow figure out how to ramp up production. Surely you can do that.
Yeah, but I mean,
you're a big distillery.
People damn near fist fight over it, even at 170.
Yeah,
it's so hard to get.
Yeah, and some distilleries do that on purpose for whatever reason. I don't know, but you know. At the end of the day, they're in it to sell whiskey and make money. If you can produce more of it and it's this good, that's more money in your pocket. It makes no sense to me.
Well, I'd drop it about $50, drop it to 110, 120, and put out as many damn bottles as you possibly can, and people will still buy it.
Exactly. Oh, it'd be buyers. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's where we're at with it. But anyway, so what cigar are we smoking today? With
so
this?
because of the length of our shoots, we try to go for something a little smaller. This is a Grand Cru number 5, one of the Davidoff line. This is one of the, there's Davidoff has the Grand Cru, the Anniversario, and the Signature. They're all Ecuadorian Connecticut wrappers. It's all Olor, San Vicente, Piloto Cubano fillers. The difference in the 3 Vitolas, or the 3 series, if you will, is the percentage of blend in the filler, which they don't obviously let that out. That's kind of a trade secret. But it's just like if you're making chili or something, you put in a tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of pepper, a tablespoon of chili powder, you get a flavor profile. If you double up, it changes the flavor profile. Or if you double one versus the other two. So they do these blends. It may be 30, 33 across the board. It may be 40, 50, 10, 20, 40, 20. It just depends, whatever they do. That's how you get 3 different series with the exact same component. These are good mild cigars. And I think with the lower proof, it works.
Oh, for sure.
If this was 120 proof or something like that, I think it would totally overpower the cigar. But the flavor of those tobaccos and the blend is good. This was the first blend of Davidoff that I ever had. This is Grand Cru. I really like it, even though I'm not a mild cigar Connecticut fan in general, but this one actually works pretty well.
I'm kind of on your spectrum with the strength of cigars and stuff. I prefer at the lowest a medium bodied.
Yeah.
But like you said, it really depends on what you're going to pair it with. Is this Grand Cru and Midwinter Nice Dram a great pairing? Absolutely not. It's not great.
No, it's okay.
It's okay. And that's where I'm at with it. It's just okay. It's not. Now, if we could pick a different cigar to go with this, knowing how this tastes, I'm not going to go pick this to pair with this at all.
Now, if I was going to pick a Davidoff for this, I would probably go Escurio, maybe Nicaragua.
Yeah.
I think they would fit the flavor profile of those tobaccos.
Or maybe even a Yamasaki, or however you say that.
Yamasa,
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that Yamasaki's a motorcycle, isn't it?
Yeah, Yamazaki. But Yamasa or something.
It's Yamasa.
Yamasa, whatever. Don't name it so hard of a name if you don't want people to not be able to pronounce it. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, it's not hard for the people that live there.
Exactly, for the people that live there. It's a good cigar. It's a mild cigar. Nothing wrong with it. It's not a good pairing with this for me.
I don't think it's horrible.
It's okay.
No,
it's
like
okay.
It's
It's
not
not
horrible.
great. It's
not.
okay.
Yeah. So, but they're both good in their own right, just not together. For me, it's not turning me off.
And of course, there again, I didn't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Knowing this being our first time tasting this, not knowing what this tastes like, it's kind of a shot in the dark.
Of course, it is quite a bit different than the Act 6 Scene 5 that I've got.
Right. So it's a shot in the dark most of the time. So a way that you guys can try to do that, if it's a bourbon or a rye or whatever it is that you're going to try, and you've never tried it before, and you're like, I don't even know where to even start on trying to pair a cigar with that. Look at the proof and kind of look at a lot of the bottles nowadays will have tasting notes on them. Not all of them, but there's a lot of them. And maybe look at the content of that whiskey. Is it more along the bourbon side? It's a higher corn content, or is it a high rye? Is it just a straight wheat whiskey? I mean, just kind of look at what the content of it is and look at the proof. The proof is going to be a big driver as to where you need to be in the ballpark of for a cigar. This being 98.6, Bruce hit the nail on the head as far as trying to do something that's lighter. That's not a high proof whiskey at all. It's less than 100. So you going somewhere along the lines of doing a Connecticut of some sort, something like that, or maybe even a mild medium. Nothing wrong with that at all. Not having had this, it's kind of hard to say. So when you go to choose a cigar to pair it with some kind of whiskey of some sort, look at your proof, look at your contents and how the composure of that whiskey, and let that kind of guide you as far as where you need to be on the spectrum of cigars to pair with that whiskey.
And of course, a note to mention is strength and flavor are not the same thing.
That's correct.
Just because it's a mild cigar doesn't mean it isn't good and flavorful.
Yeah. But typically,
actually,
they're going to be lighter on flavor than if you go medium or bold. I mean, that's the structure of calling them their name.
Well, but like I said, strength and flavor are not the same thing. If you take a Perdomo Habano Connecticut, it's a Connecticut wrapper, but it is very flavor packed. It will pair really well with this.
But I don't consider that to be in the mild cigar spectrum either. So, I mean, which goes back to the strength. It is
strength wise, but not flavor.
It's just that's got a lot going for it. I mean, but there's even Maduros that are extremely mild.
Yeah, Ashton aged Maduros.
There you go. And
Java Maduros.
Yeah, so
things like that.
Just like that, super smooth, more chocolatey, not bold by any means at all. So the color of the wrapper doesn't play into this either.
I'd just like to pop in here and say this is damn good juice.
Right. Mister, you're in the twos, man.
I hadn't said anything for like 5 minutes, so I just wanted everybody to know I was still here.
You were in the twos on this, and you're...
No, and it's not the juice. It's just the price and the availability. The juice is good.
I get it. It's
and maybe I should have went with a 3 with Bruce. I was probably a little too hard on it.
A point for availability, a point for price.
Yeah.
There you go.
The juice by itself is definitely
100%.
I agree. So anyway, that's all we have time for on this episode. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And don't forget about subscribing to us. Please comment below. Like the videos. That really helps the channel. If you like the videos, definitely subscribe to us.
Let us know what you want to see.
Share the videos on Facebook and stuff. Pass this off to your friends. Invite more people in the community. We're having a great time in the BSC community page on Facebook. Yep. Hope you guys will join us there.
You get some personal interaction with the stars of the show here. I'm just saying.
We're nobody. We put our pants on the same as you. So
yeah, but
anyway,
I don't like to wear pants. So
we'll catch you on the next one.
On right now.